Recently, while in Spain, I visited with renowned classical guitar maker José Romanillos and was able to spend an evening with him and his wife Marian at their home. In this final part of my evening with Romanillos, I asked José technical questions about his construction method that will be of interest to guitar builders. I hope you enjoy and appreciate the information that José is offering here. Tell me about the table.
I bought it in case I run out of wood to make my necks on the
guitar. What kind of wood is this?
This is mahogany.
Mahogany, right.
But it's one lovely.
Beautiful. Well, we had to come in from outside because we're having such a nice, lovely conversation here that the sun went down and it got dark, so we've moved indoors. And I wanted to ask José a few more questions.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
A lot of builders are going to see these videos.
Yeah.
And I get emails from all over the world, people asking me technical questions, building questions, construction methods, and I try to answer them the best I can. And so I have a few for you.
Yes, go ahead.
Do you prefer a V-joint or a scarf joint?
No, V-joint.
Yeah. Is there a structural element to that, or a tonal element that you prefer?
Or aesthetical.
Okay.
Yeah, because
it is a very beautiful joint.
I didn't like the joint that, with the splice on it shows like it. It seems to me like a closed mouth.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Along the same lines, metal tuners or friction pegs? Which do you prefer?
Well, I like friction pegs, but I mean the circumstances of the market, it forces you to do it if you had to. The tuners, they're quite old, they are 18th century inventions, so it's not really an invention that it just happened. But I do, well, they are very charming, the pegs.
You like the pegs?
Well, if I had to choose, I use wooden pegs, yeah.
Okay.
But, one is forced by.
Okay. What about rosewood or cypress? Do you have a preference?
Well, to me, the cypress is my favorite wood but it's not only because of the sound; it's other elements like the scent, the smell, and it's a very sort of human wood. And I love to see the cypress trees, and they are beautiful to look at. And I think if I had to choose among them, I'll pick a cypress. Yeah.
Okay. Of all the varieties of spruce, and I know you prefer spruce, there's a lot of different varieties. Do you prefer one over the other? Euro spruce, Sitka, Lutz, Engelmann?
No, I only use a spruce wood.
Okay, but what kind of spruce?
Well, it comes from Europe. The ones I use,
spruce.
yes, it's like everything is a commercial sort of what we call the German spruce. What they used to
which is not really from Germany.
It's questionable whether it was German spruce, because when I was in Yugoslavia, the German bought sort of train full of spruce from Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
So I don't know German, I don't know what it means by German. I use European spruce, and so far the one I use is Swiss spruce and Yugoslavian spruce.
Okay.
I don't touch Western red cedar. I don't think, for the Spanish guitar, I don't think it's sort of, it doesn't do any good to put a spruce on the wood. I consider, to put Western red cedar on the Spanish guitar.
Okay.
In my style, anyway.
Okay. In the course, we've talked about several design elements, like bridge patch or no bridge patch, or your design of where you extend the struts into the sound hole area. Do you have a preference?
Well, I don't really. I use both terms. I would originally I didn't know the bridge patch. I think it came from Hausa, And I think I probably used it in the first guitar I made on the house and model, because it's a guitar that Brim had. But in the end, I decided that I couldn't see any benefit, acoustic or quality benefit in the wood, in the sound. So I did away with it, because also it's more tourist than the other one. So, but the bridge, they tell us, the physicists and people who the acoustician tell us the bridge is very, very important and all that, but they don't tell us why. So the plate, I don't know really what it does, to be quite honest, so I don't use it.
Okay, good. One of the things that you said in the course is don't get locked into a pattern. For example, bridge patch or no bridge patch, or extend the sound struts into the sound hole. But you impressed upon us in the course, the most important thing is the top, the stiffness or the looseness.
Yeah.
There are many patterns that perhaps will work,
Yeah.
but you need to think in terms of stiffness and looseness.
Yeah.
I thought that was very important. I enjoyed that comment.
Well, I think it is, because actually it's basically very simple. The elasticity of the wood, it means that it's a economy in the waste of the sound produced by the string. And that's why if it's elastic, the sound, SOS as they call it, speed of sound, is faster.
Right.
And so that is not, that elastic, because the mass absorbs the sound.
Right.
And this is why, to me, the elasticity of the wood, that it comes from being properly cut or even split.
Right.
And that is, and then therefore you could thin the soundboard a bit more.
Right.
To eliminate mass, but you still, it's the strength of the elasticity.
In the course, you talked about the most important element or material in the guitar is the soundboard.
Yeah.
And you went into great depth of how to select the soundboard.
Yeah.
And what could you give us a quick overview of how you select your soundboards, or what you look for in the ideal soundboard top for the guitar?
Well, it has to be possibly a split. This is very hard, because it's a lot of waste.
Yes.
When you split it, it has to be a split radially. That means, and it has to be straight in the longitudinal to the axis of the growth of the tree, right? And then it has to be medium weight. And what we do, well, originally with the trees we cut, split it in four and then cut it, and there are 2 or 3 cuts from the outside, the center, and what you had to always find the radio, so it's a lot of waste.
Right.
And that is for the reason I said, is the quality of the wood, the straight, radially cut, and you see you see the wood rays going radially across the soundboard. It means that the speed of sound traveling faster if you have those elements as the same as the hazel ficta spruce.
Right.
And that's it's radially longitudinal, medium weight, and flexible.
Okay.
Because you could find that qualities in spruce, but then if it bends when you flex it easily, it means it's too soft.
Right. Now, when you say flex, you mean longitudinally or across?
Well, both actually, but across, transversally.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's it. It's very difficult to explain, because you see, now they are selecting the spruce by the speed of sound, which is a good thing.
Right.
But the speed of sound, it doesn't give you quality well, it could give you, but you cannot say what type of quality you get out of that frequency or speed, if you know.
Right.
So that is a good as far as the elasticity, if you will, or the speed of sound on the wood, but it doesn't determine the quality altogether without particularly elasticity, you know. And it comes from experience. I think I'm quite able to, when somebody passes me a piece of the spruce, just by the feel, I don't know by the weight of whether it's cured or it's been seasoned or not, you know, that's the thing. And I know that the dry wood, and it's been really seasoned, it makes a lot of difference as well, because you see the movement of the cells and the tracheids and all that. After a while, I think they get a pattern, and they get a, how should I say, a formation. And they still swell with the humidity or not, but they have time to move and come to a settled state. I noticed that when we did our house in Semley. It was an old bungalow in Thanet, and they took the beams from the roof.
Right.
I did an experiment. I cut a piece of wood from the ribs, because from the beams rather, and another one from a fresh piece of pine. And the difference in weight and in touch and is tremendous, you know. And well, it's a simple sort of experiment, but it showed that there is something in there that it comes, I think, from the dryness and, you know, 30 or 40 years suffering the weather movement is and that's what I recommend to hand the soundboard sort of or the piece for the soundboard, so that the dry circulates and
it's supposed to air on all sides.
Yeah, and I think this in here, in fact, the soundboard that Liam uses, many of them, he brings them here, and I have them in the garage, and I hang out in there, and he takes them back because he's, I don't know, it gives a kind of quality, I think.
Right. One thing I found very interesting in the course is that usually when you hand a soundboard to somebody, the first thing they do is want to listen to it. You never did that. Only at the end. I handed you my soundboard before I had thicknessed it, and you flexed it and did all kinds of things, and I went about building the guitar. I braced it, and I would always get your input. Only when I was all done did you listen to it. Something else was very interesting is you flexed it, and you said, this side, the brace is taller. Go check it and come back and make sure I'm not getting old. And I did. I checked it, and it was a minute amount thicker or taller on that brace. And once I removed that minute, really small amount, it loosened up, and you gave the approval.
Well, it's experience, really.
Yes.
It's because it's. Well, I have an anecdote actually. I met a guitar maker in Paris in a guitar shop, a friend of ours, and he tried to sell it to the shop or whatever. And he saw me there, and he came, asked me what, and I had a look at the guitar and sort of plonk it a bit, and I say, well, I think you got the soundboard, I can't remember now, I think it probably about 3 millimeters, and you know, we get a few details of the guitar, you know. And when we did the dictionary, I wrote to that chap who was living in the north of Spain. And I mean, the letters would be great to read, because more or less he said, I was outstanding. I was very, he said that the word outstanding, he was very surprised that actually I was able to, by tapping, get the thickness of the wood he employed in the guitar.
With no thickness caliper?
No, nothing, just, and as a rule now I'm losing a little bit vision and all that, but I see whatever. In fact, I got to the when we went to the butchers before, I used to say 3 millimeters because they don't know what 3 millimeters is. But I got, well, you know, it's an ability, but you develop over the time. And it's nothing, and it's all experience actually. Be alert, be inquisitive, have a little bit of common sense, and just, you know.
One of the final questions I wanted to ask is, I get a lot of people asking me advice on how to get started in the profession.
Yeah.
So if there's any advice that you could give to aspiring luthiers, what would you say?
Well, what I said, he has to be, he has to make his mind what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's no good, I don't know if he intends to make money. I put that the question.
Don't go into it for the money, guys.
No, but he really has to decide what he wants to do and go, you know, the whole full to it. It's amazing how the will to do the thing, the enthusiasm and the inquisitive that he could learn something else by doing something with common sense. Look, it's wonderful, you know. But if the person, or he just sort of going to make guitar because it doesn't know what to do, and he has to, before they start making guitar, they have to think what he really wants to do. He has to try to enjoy it.
Right. You know. Right. Your enthusiasm is contagious.
Well,
it really is. I appreciate you inviting me here to Spain to participate in the course, and I want to thank you for inviting me into your home.
It's the rule of the house, so to speak. My parents were like Maria known them all, and my house was always open, and these people of peace and good manners, they're always received here.
Thank you very much, and I hope that I can, in some small fashion, contribute to the knowledge around the world of Luthery with this interview and with these videos.
Well, you already contributed with coming here, you know, to give us a hand to do, because what I say we want to do is to continue with that, and just sort of blowing my top a little bit as well. All this carpentry has been made by Marian and I.
Wow, well, I'll have to film this.
I saw you at the house.
Yeah, I'll definitely do a panoramic quick.
Me on the steps and said, Maria, hand me that piece.
You know, you remind me a lot of me and my wife. I married my wife in Brazil. And when we moved to the United States, we had no place to live. So I bought a chainsaw and went out into the pasture and started cutting down trees. Well, I didn't know how to work wood or cut down trees, but my wife helped me every step of the way. And she'd come home from work and hammer nails on the deck, and we built a log cabin. Here, we've had a lovely evening and afternoon of conversation and here in the Romanillos home. Monica Esparza with me. She also participated in the interview, and of course, Jose's lovely wife, Marian, and of course, Jose the Maestro. And thank you very much for this wonderful evening we've spent here together, and for the information you provided to us, and I hope it will be beneficial to those watching the video.
Well, thank you very much. I think in the line that we're trying to do is to make people a little bit happy watching how we try to embellish the history of the Spanish guitar one way or another. So thank you for coming.
Happy building, everyone.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Throughout the wonderful evening of conversation I had with Jose and Marian, I was able to learn how Jose got his start as a luthier, feel his passion and desire to continue teaching others the history of the Spanish guitar in Venezuela through a cultural center in Sigüenza in his books, talk about his contributions to luthery, and the Romanillos legacy being carried forward by his son Liam, as well as discuss his methods of construction and how he selects soundboard material for his guitars. With his permission, I am making this information available so others may benefit. Please accept this information as a gift from Mr. Romanillos and his wife Marian, people who are true ambassadors of the Spanish guitar in Vuela, and those who have dedicated their lives over the centuries to the construction of these wonderful instruments.
I'll show you the rest of the house.
Sure.
Yeah, and there was a piece of wood stuck on the floor. Here, look, fish glue.
Fish glue.
Look, there is.
Fish glue really works, guys. Wood stuck to the floor of Jose's house.
That's where my bench was when I.
When you worked in here.
Now that's a good proof.
Fish glue.
we left it there.
That's right.
Yeah.
So then I don't have to worry about
And this is used to be the workshop. All this.
It's been turned into a book writing room.
Yes.
Yeah, well, here is where we mess about with the words, and we have a good library about musical instruments, and we got in the other house. We got the literature. We got,
there wasn't room here really to bring all the books, you know, from the.
this is my desk, and Marian has got that one.
I got two actually. I'm a bit
Two.
greedy. I have two.
And after is the loft.
But no, it's.
Well, this is it's a paradise for us. We got here everything we want.
Yeah, this is all the filing cabinets are all
Oh,
the
yeah.
information that
Yeah.
we have. And
The archives.
Yeah, the archive. Yeah.
yeah.
Here is well, is a lot of information here that I don't know what's going to happen because I don't know
Well,
if
we were hoping that
in
the
Spaniard. These are all
Yes,
all Andalusian guitars. We got about 80 or 90 Pajes guitars
Wow.
on files.
What a beautiful work you guys have done together.
It's well, we enjoyed it. This is the thing. I mean, you just got to.
well, the great thing about the Spanish archives, they're open in the morning, but the afternoon they close. So morning is looking through the archives, afternoon is sort of tourism.
What was the name of that little book?
Tourism. What's that done?
The first book I made a book.
It's around about here somewhere.
Did I put it here?
Make your own
Oh,
Spanish
this is it.
guitar.
It's the very first one.
Yeah.
That's it.
So this is what started it all.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. You should hold it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Come on.
Well, you were
Get together.
Well, we were together. yes.
you were part of it.
Yes, I
Marie,
know, but I mean,
Look, it's still
now what's that in there?
I don't know, little
Little things.
Yeah.
You wrote something in there, didn't you? Or wasn't this
Well,
one you
I
wrote?
think-
I
I
think
think
you
so,
wrote
yeah.
something in there about being the first. Yes, I'm sure you did. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
This is the very first book that they used to make a classical guitar.
Yeah.
Make your own classical guitar.
Make your own Spanish guitar.
Yeah.
Spanish guitar.
Yeah.
Was it a help or not?
Well, yeah,
anything
oh
you
yeah,
had.
that was the
It doesn't look very thick.
that was the base
How
actually.
much information can be in there?
Yeah, well, not much, but
Not
yeah.
much better.
Yeah. See,
Well, look at that. That's what. Yeah.
this is it's amazing. That's what I did. That's how I bend
Like
the.
that.
That's how I bend the rib.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
That's not my photograph, but I mean I copied. I make a bending.
Right. You've come a long way since then.
Oh yeah. This is not the original book. What I had when I had to tell it to the library.
No, it's a library book that he had.
Somebody presented me with this. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyway.